Let's dive into the discussions shaping the nation.
Thanks very much, Ceann Comhairle. I too want to add my voice of recognition and congratulations to the amazing work that has been done by so many people in responding to what has been a 1-in-100-year event. In the first instance, I want to recognise the staff of the ESB, the staff of the local authorities, and the tremendous amount of voluntary effort that was put in. I would like, though, to throw in a word of caution to those that are seeking to jump on the bandwagon and try to blame all of this on politicians and on the government. There are 15 members of the government, and if those that are suggesting it is all their fault, I think there's quite a lot of people amongst the public who don't buy that game, quite frankly. So when you attack the government, grand, it's a popular thing to do. But there are many people who are working behind the scenes in government. They're voters too, by the way, and they're in the local authority, and they're in the ESB, and they're in their families, that see it as an attack on them. So let's be cautious and careful here. Let's recognise that we have a lot of learnings, we have a lot of work to do to be better prepared in the future. That's not all down to a minister or two or three. It's down to a lot of people. And the people that I have spoken about, yes, they're angry, they're upset. They don't necessarily blame the minister. They might to you, perhaps. That's a matter between you and them. They want the country to be better prepared and in a stronger position to address the crisis. We have to ensure that those hubs are better in place. That's an attack on the CEO of the local authority when you suggest that they're not in place. The monies are always there. With respect, Deputy, you full well know money is not an issue at the minute. It might be to you, but not to the local authorities. I visited locations the other day. I met with staff in the local authority. They're not telling me that they didn't respond because there was a shortage of money, quite frankly. They're working now to address this. There are issues about the clearing of ESB lines, and of course we have to engage and interact with not just Cuilta, and I've heard a number of you jump on Cuilta because that's an easy one. It's an easy one, quite frankly. But don't forget there's a lot of private landholders who are also responsible for the forests. And if you're suggesting that the responsibility lies on the owners of the forestries, you're putting a burden on small farmers who have small plantations and quite frankly can't afford it. So just a word of caution in your effort to blame the government for everything. Just be a bit more careful. No, I've heard it and I've seen it on social media. I've seen the attacks as if it's just a government problem. And I would support.
Deputies, please let the member finish. Let the member finish. With respect.
But previous
deputies, you had your say. Please.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes the truth, when it's explained, becomes difficult for you to explain. That's fine. But I would say the Speaker previous, Deputy Paul, who talked about ensuring that there's a greater planning in relation to hubs and to have that response. We need to get that in place. The Minister has rightly identified, and I know, and you do too, Deputy, in the Midwest, there was lots of generators, and they were rolling them out to homes that needed them, where there were vulnerable patients, where they needed, for the purpose of electrical equipment. I heard nobody thank anybody for that, quite frankly. I've seen a couple of politicians run around with 1 or 2 generators and they thought they had solved the crisis for everybody. Your colleague indicated from Brussels that had there been 12 or 13 generators here a day earlier, the storm could be averted. Like, that's the kind of stuff that goes on. But I'm here to work with others to try to work on what has been learned out of this. How do we ensure that there isn't a continuous situation where trees are left in place, that they can damage power lines? How we can better respond to the needs of people more quickly in terms of getting power back to them, ensuring that there are generators at all the Irish water sites so that clean water is pumped to the sites. Those are all important. But, you know, as the Taoiseach said earlier today, there was one life lost. That's one too many. This could have been catastrophic. It wasn't because of the planning that was done and the direction that was given from central government in terms of recognising the state of the problem. Now, I'd like to think that we could have a debate in a couple of weeks' time, when you're not playing to the local media agenda or the deadlines of the local papers, where we can have a more, maybe it's done at committee, where we can be more reflective in putting in place a plan that will work. And those issues that you've identified and learned, let you be part of that too. Thanks very much.
Like, share, and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.